I got it. Okay, let's
Okay.
go. Okay.
Okay. Well, welcome everybody to our Take Shape for Life support call. Congratulations for making a healthy choice in your life and for making health a priority and really for making a big difference in the transformation of your life. Just want to also congratulate you for taking time just to be on this call because it can really make a big difference in your life having support in your weight loss journey. I know it has for mine. We have so much opportunity for support through Take Shape for Life, and it really is amazing. Besides that, we have this amazing support call that we put together, and thank you to Sarah and David and Stacy and myself for working on this. We do have a nurse support call every Monday night for any questions. We have a doctor support call every Wednesday night, and we have a Habits of Health call even after this call. Besides of which, we also have a nutrition support available every day through your phone or through email if you have any other questions. And the Habits of Health system is always available to us. That's part of our coaching. The availability of your coach is there for you. We have our tools, we have our meal replacements, and we work together with our clients to make the best possible outcome to help to their success. So I just want to introduce tonight's presenters. My name is Sherry Marks. I'm a certified health and wellness coach through Take Shape for Life, as everybody else here is as well. And I'm a mom of 6 kids, as well as Sarah Glazer, who's also a mom of 6 kids. And we both, not at the same time, but we both, after having our 6th child, found Take Shape for Life. And it really helped us both to lose, for me, 50 pounds. For Sarah, I believe it's 52 or 53 pounds. And I've kept my weight off for, this summer is my 7th year. So it's not just about losing weight, as we know, it's about losing weight and keeping it off. And David and Stacy are an amazing couple. David has lost also 50 pounds. I believe it's about almost 4 years now, and Stacy's lost 30 pounds. And have really adopted the lifestyle of a healthy couple, not just a healthy person. They feed off each other. They really work together, adopting a healthy lifestyle and making it work. So just want to start off with some successful tips for you. Just to make sure, especially in the summertime, are you drinking water, right? It's so important. It's probably one of the most important things in this program. Our aim is to get to half of our body weight in ounces, I'm sorry. And that's a good goal to reach if that's possible. You know, minimum 8 cups of water a day, 64 ounces. Are you eating every 2 to 3 hours? That's really important to keep our metabolism jumpstart and keep us going. We don't want to get to a point where we're really ravenous. Are you actually really measuring your lean and greens? Do you know that it can make a world of difference if you stick to the program and you measure like that? You will have the optimal weight loss results when you do that. Are you keeping a food log, and are you reporting that to your coach? I know recently we just started with someone doing the Habits of Health dashboard, and it's really made a world of difference with that particular client in terms of her finding where she's falling through the cracks, so to speak. Do you actually speak to your coach regularly? A lot of times coaches are coaching a lot of people. You know, we call our clients, and sometimes it's nice if our clients call us, because we can really help you plan out your weekend, if you're going away. A lot of us have been through a lot of different difficulties and obstacles, and we can, kind of have a good idea to plan out with you what's the best way to approach it. And it's a good idea just to bounce off ideas and share best practices. I can tell you probably offhand, I've probably experienced most obstacles and have learned to overcome them, but mostly because I had someone to work with. And are you also availing yourself of the whole program, including Dr. A's Habits of Health, which is really the coursework, it's the Bible of our program. And to work with that, Living a Longer, Healthier Life guidebook, which is a workbook that accompanies the Habits of Health program. And we are actually working from that for this call, in addition to an amazing, amazing book called The Diet Trap Solution. And that's written by a Dr. Judith Beck. And I know that a number of coaches have been so successful with their clients utilizing a lot of the information and the practices found therein. Anyway, I just wanted to introduce everyone, and I'm going to pass it on to Sarah now.
Thanks
Sarah.
so much, Sherry. Thank you very much. And so tonight's call is about breaking the behavioral chain. And before I begin with that, I would like to review last week's call about identifying habits, good ones and not so good ones, that we call the ones that are not helpful or really unhelpful ones, habits of disease. And we also discussed that a lot of times we have certain habits that are triggered by certain emotions. So sometimes if we're stressed, we just go and eat something. And the first thing to do is to identify that those two actions are actually not connected. And stress is going to happen in our lives, but if we realize that the attached action to it is not, a must, it's not like attached, then we can start working on those habits. So that's the first, identifying the habits. That's what we discussed last week. And before I go further, I'd love to bring out anyone, we had food for thought last week of, identifying a habit and a trigger that comes with it. If anyone, quickly would like to share, we do have, we want to time constraints. So if anyone wants to share quickly a habit or a trigger, just unmute yourself. And there we go. We have Hani. Let's see. Yes.
Hello.
You're there? Okay, perfect.
Hi, sorry.
How do I lower your hands? Lower hand. Okay, there we go. That was cool. Go ahead.
Okay. My trigger is stress, but specifically in the afternoon, evening hours when I'm getting everyone homework and showers and baths and bed and trying to get supper ready all at the same time. And I'm generally in my kitchen all the time. And so then I just start picking and hoarding and just a lot. It could be very, very, very pretty. Nuts.
Right. So we're going to actually deal with this whole, that those are two unrelated, the stress and then the picking and all the things that come with it. So we're going to try to uncouple those two things and deal with your stress. And that's what we're discussing. And if anyone else would like to share, or I'll just move on. I think I'll just move on. Okay. So thanks so much, Hani, really, for sharing. Really helps when people share. Okay. And I'm having technical difficulties going to the next page. Here we go. Okay. So in a really great tool that I can't be 100% that Dr. Anderson created this tool, but he definitely has spread the word about it. And that's where I've learned about it from, the Habits of Health book. It's called Stop, Challenge, and Choose. And basically, it's the first step, like I said, is to identify the fact that these actions that we have coupled together are actually separate actions. There's a feeling and then there's an action. So, for example, one of the examples in the book is sitting down to watch TV, and first it starts that you grab a bag of popcorn for some reason every time you sit down to watch a movie. And then all of a sudden every time you're watching a movie, you're eating popcorn, even if you're not hungry or whatever. So taking those two actions apart and you sit down to watch a movie and you grab the bag of popcorn, and that's just a very natural thing. Now you've identified that as the trigger is the watching the movie, and the bad unhealthy habits of disease is eating the popcorn. So you just identifying that those are separate things is the first step. And then stop, take a deep breath and say, do I really need to, why am I wanting to eat this popcorn? Do I have to eat popcorn every time I watch a movie? Am I hungry? Why am I doing this? Is it solving anything for me? What am I doing this for? And is it getting me to where I want to go? And, then you make hopefully a healthy choice at that point and say, you know what, I'll just drink water because I don't really need popcorn right now. But it's going to be practice, and, we're not going to be perfect every time. So don't beat yourself up if you don't pass every time. But if you keep doing this, the Stop, Challenge, and Choose, it's going to help you a lot. And what it's doing is moving from mindless reaction, like it says right here, to conscious awareness. and you're becoming aware of our coupled habits with our triggers and separating them, and then dealing with those triggers in an appropriate manner. And I have a story that my husband shared with me that I thought was really great for this call, of a man that was going from New York to Chicago, and he got on his train to go to Chicago, and he sits down in these very uncomfortable seats and very worn down train and just awful. And he's like, this is terrible. And he, out of the corner of his eye, sees across the platform, there's this beautiful plush looking train. And he jumps off the train, goes onto the beautiful, sits down in a plush seat and just relaxes. This is the life. And he just enjoys the whole ride, and he gets to where the train is going. He comes out, he says, oh, am I in New York yet? They're like, no, actually you're in California. He's like, what? I need to go to New York. And like, well, you got on the wrong train. And, you know, obviously it was pretty stupid, but, you know, and, but sometimes it's not as obvious to us when we're making these choices, but that's what we're working on. And, you know, looking at a choice and seeing, is this getting us to where we're going? And, you know, if it's not, making a different choice, even if the choice is so yummy and tempting at the time, if it's like the comfortable train type of story. So with that, you know, I want to go into the identifying of a chain of events. So and I'm going to do this quickly because I'm really running low on time. So now we have a chain. Let's say we, you know, see a coupon for cookies. So we get really excited and we cut the coupon for cookies. We go to the store, we buy the cookies, we put them in our pantry, and then one Sunday afternoon we feel really bored and we develop an urge to eat, and we open that bag of cookies and we eat all the cookies. So, you know, what could we have done differently? Well, we could have, you know, been in the store and said, well, you know, if I buy those cookies, I'm going to eat those cookies. You know, I know it myself. I just eat all the cookies whenever they're in the house. Maybe don't buy the cookies, buy something else, Diet Jello, or something healthier than Diet Jello. I don't know. My husband put that one in. And then put them in instead of putting in the pantry, say, you know, if I put them in the pantry, it's going to be very tempting to me. I'm going to hide them because I need to buy them for my kids or whatever. Then the next thing is when you felt bored, you know, we're going to be bored. And if that's a trigger, you know, and we know it. So let's come up with a list of things to do that when we get bored, we can tackle those things and not end up eating cookies. And if you have developed an urge to eat, I would question it and say, is it a craving? Am I just bored? And am I really hungry? Am I thirsty? Am I tired? And if everything is, you're not hungry and you're not thirsty, go for a walk. And if you are hungry, go in the kitchen, have a drink of water, healthy fueling, and get out of there. And if you do any of those things and break the chain anywhere in that whole chain, like break a link, you are, you know, gonna be successful. So anywhere along that line, you could be successful. So with that, I would like to bring on one of my clients, Moshe, who's been on the program for a couple of weeks only and been really successful. And I would like for him to inspire you all with his story. So Moshe, if you don't mind coming on and sharing. Are you muted? Let's see. Moshe, unmute. You there, Moshe?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Wonderful. So basically, my story actually started about 5 years ago. I was well over 300 pounds. Decided that I had to do something about it, change my lifestyle. So I started working out, going to the gym. I became an avid weightlifter, and I lost a lot of weight, kept it off for quite a few years. But I just couldn't seem to lose those last 20, 25, 30 pounds, 20, 25 pounds I wanted to drop. And I was worried that doing anything as far as a diet goes would reduce my ability to work out. I lose a lot of muscle mass as well. And I mean, I was eating pretty healthy, but I was eating large amounts. I didn't know how to eat. I knew what to eat. I just didn't know how to eat. So after watching my wife actually be quite successful on this program, I spoke with Sari, my wonderful coach, who sat there with me in nutritional support. I told them my concerns, and they found the right option within Take Shape for Life for me. And so far, it's been will be about 5 weeks. 17 of those 25 pounds are gone within 5 weeks. I haven't. I had to adjust my exercise in the beginning, but I haven't lost any lean muscle mass. In fact, I've actually managed to put on strength, which I wasn't expecting to do while losing weight. It's almost unheard of. And it's just incredible what this has done for me so far. I mean, it's really, I'm learning how to eat, how to make sure I'm not getting hungry constantly. That was my biggest concern, was being hungry. And it just doesn't happen as long as I make sure that I have something with me every about 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours. And it's just fantastic. One of the things that I wanted to talk about, we were talking about habits that we were in, especially for me. I started off, when I started putting on the tremendous amounts of weight, I was a New York City paramedic for a long time. And you learn to eat fast. They say a paramedic who bought a hot cup of coffee and actually drank it hot wasn't working that day. So you ate fast. And one of the things I really learned through this is to really slow down when you're eating. Take your time with what you're eating. The worst thing you can do is just shove it down real fast, because even though you're full, your body doesn't have time to realize it's full. It's really, it's take your time with it. It's not a rush. Enjoy what you're eating.
Thanks so much, Moshe, for sharing. And I'm going to bring on Sherry to introduce her client, Abby. Thank you very much, Moshe.
Hi. So Abby's been an amazing client so far. She started out with our nursing program because she has a young child, under a year old. And she saw a little bit of progress and started learning about Take Shape for Life, and decided to go up another level, and kind of decided to go onto the 4 and 2, and now she's on the 5 and 1 and has been doing amazing. And I just wanted to have Abby share her story. Abby, you could unmute yourself by just clicking on the microphone on the left.
Okay. Hi.
Oh, there you go.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Sherry. So as Sherry was saying, I started, I think, right before Pesach. But really my story goes back even further than that. About, I guess, like 5 or 6 years ago, right before I got married, I had gone on Weight Watchers, and I was very successful. I lost 50 pounds. And even after those 50 pounds, I felt great. I felt like that was, the best weight that I had been in a very long time. Got married, felt amazing in my wedding dress. But I still didn't get to, really ideally where I wanted to be. Fast forward, thank God, 2 kids later, I, had toyed with the idea of going back on Weight Watchers, but I really felt like, Weight Watchers, while obviously it, teaches, what to eat and how much to eat, it was too open for me. It was too much free choice. So when I heard about Take Shape for Life with Medifast, I felt like everything was right there for me. There was no thinking involved. I was really able to just grab things out of the pantry and just go. So I did start off, as Sherry said, on the nursing program. I didn't really see fast results as what I wanted to. And as my son was, approaching a year old, I did drop down to the 4 and 2. So that gave me a little bit more weight loss. And then 2 weeks ago, I went on 5 and 1. My son is now over a year. And now that I'm on 5 and 1, the weight loss really has sort of revved up. So, I'm totally, my total now is at 25 pounds. I have about another maybe 15 to go to where I think I want to be. My biggest challenge that I think that I've started to overcome is that I love to bake, and I have a big sweet tooth. So one thing that I have changed is that when I am craving that something sweet, that all I really need sometimes is the taste, not to cut myself that whole piece of cake, let my husband cut himself a piece and really just take a spoonful, just enjoy it for what it is, and then walk away. So, obviously it's a long process, but that's
Thank you so much, Abby. Really appreciate it. And with that, I'm going to hand the call over to David, since I have to get my timing better here. We have a couple minutes left, and we'll stay on for questions after the call is wrapped up. But David, thank you.
All right. Well, hi everybody. So first of all, I want to thank our presenters. But Sarah, I want to just tell you that was really great. I really liked the discussion about breaking the chain using the Style Challenge Choose tool. I really especially like the examples you use. It's really important to change your go-tos, your habits, and that's what really makes the difference to so many people. And I think we should talk more about habits at some point in the future. What do you think, Sarah?
I agree.
Great. All right. So now it's time to really wrap things up for tonight. We're really running out of time. So I want to thank everybody, first of all, once again, for joining us this week. Having you all here is really beneficial to everyone, including us. So thanks so much, and we hope you'll keep coming back. Speaking of which, our next call will be same bat time, same bat channel next week. That's July 6th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The topic is going to be about figuring out your why. When we talk about your why, what we're talking about is the reason that you're doing this program. What are you trying to accomplish? What do you want to be able to do? How would your life change when you make health a focus in your life? That's what we're talking about when we mean your why. So for homework, if you'd like, we'd love for you to write down 5 examples of what optimal health looks like to you, and perhaps be willing to share them next week. Okay? So we're really down to the wire here on where we really wanted to respect everyone's time. It's 9 o'clock. So what we're going to do is we're going to officially end the call, but I'm going to turn it over to Stacy because we're going to have a Q&A. If anybody has any questions and they want to stick around for a bit, we'll stick around for a bit, and we're happy to answer those questions. I did want to just share with you the total number for weight loss in this room tonight is 458.2 pounds.
Ooh, yay!
So good going to all those who responded. And so all right. So like I said, this officially ends the call. If you have questions or anything that you want to talk about, feel free. We're going to stick around a little bit.
If anyone has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and you can ask your questions at this time.
And maybe we can take off the PowerPoint so we
Yeah,
can.
sure. Yeah, I'll stop it. Yeah.
Okay, I heard it sounded like someone wanted to ask a question.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, it's Sarah. I don't know if you can hear me. My internet connection is really bad.
Yes, we can hear you.
It's not really a question. I just wanted to make the comment that I didn't know what I was going to say until a few minutes ago. When my son came in, I was sitting at the table with my back towards him, and he didn't know who I was. He didn't recognize me from the back because he said I lost so much weight that he totally didn't recognize me.
That's amazing. Go you.
Also, one more quick thing. Something that I really love on the Facebook group that you put all these posters on, and with all these sayings and phrases. And one thing that I really took to heart, and it really hit home with me, is you never regret not eating something. You only regret eating things, or something like that. I don't remember the exact phrase. And every time I want to eat something that I'm not supposed to, I say, I'm going to regret this if I eat it. But
absolutely,
if I don't eat it, that's it. I'm not going to die. And I just walk away. And that's it.
And you'll only be happier the next day. That's great. Yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful. Is there anyone else who'd like to share or ask a question?
You sound funny. Maybe just my
Okay.